With which I choose to welcome you on this set tonight. Good evening, dear televiewers. And on behalf of the whole G24 media, we apologize for the delay. Let's open with the headlines. In Gabon, as part of a friendship and work visit to his counterpart Ali Bongo Ondimba this Monday, January 17th, Ivorian President Alasssane Ouattara the AFCON 2021, the biggest competition on the African continent, is taking place in Cameroon. At the menu of discussions tonight, the draw of Cameroon against Cape Verde, the outing of two major players of the Gabonese Panthers, and the skills of Central African countries. Yana Kenenge, our sportsman, is on set for these exchanges. Stay tuned for more. The details and more in a feast of seconds. Once more, welcome back. We open in Gabon. President Alasssane Dramane Ouattara is currently on a working and friendship visit with his counterpart Ali Bongo Ondimba. But a few hours earlier, he was welcomed by Jose Cristiano Soukaraponda, head of the Gabonese government at the Leomba International Airport. The Ivorian ambassador resident presented the stakes of this historic visit and was on the mic of Gabon-24. Let's listen to Nicolas Kwaku.
We talk here about two brotherly countries. President Alasssane Ouattara is here to see his counterpart and brother President Ali Bongo Ondimba, and is just at the beginning of this year. It is a heartwarming feeling to know that the first outing of the President of the Republic outside the ECOWAS zone is here in Gabon, in Libreville. The health crisis is impacting the whole world. So, in Côte d'Ivoire, we try to live at the pace of living with this crisis, this pandemic of COVID, and so much as I appreciate the measure taken at the level of the Gabonese Republic, at the level of our Ivorian authorities, the same measures are taken to try to put an end to this pandemic.
Also, as part of this friendship and work visit to his Gabonese counterpart Ali Bongo Ondimba, this Monday, January 17th, Ivorian President Alasssane Ouattara faced the media during a press conference. Rona Charline Mwenkonde and Hervé Obian were present. We listen to Arsène Marie for the hints.
At the end of a first face-to-face meeting with his Gabonese counterpart upon his arrival at the presidential palace in Libreville, the Ivorian president, in front of the press, spoke of the challenges of this visit, but not only the ECOWAS sanction in Mali, being invited to the game of questions and answers.
Gabon is in the United Nations Security Council. I was able to give him more precise information on what we expect from the evolution of the ECAS region, and we agreed that the regional structures should strengthen their cooperation. This is very important for our two regions.
For his first trip outside the ECOWAS areas since the arrival of the coronavirus pandemic, the Ivorian head of the state, Alasssane Dramane Ouattara, also took the opportunity to present the project to fight against this common enemy to both nations.
The important is that our research structures continues to strengthen the research facilities, not only for prevention, but for care. For example, in Côte d'Ivoire, we are now making antigenic tests manufactured in the country. We have a vaccine manufacturing plant and, of course, gloves and all other type of materials. I think at the end, we must be able to solve our problems ourselves in our countries, especially with the support of the African Union.
Moreover, diplomatic relations between the two countries are in good shape, again hammering the Ivorian number one, recording the figure 5,000, which is the number of Ivorians who have made Gabon their home.
Our main focus today takes us to the sports rubric. The AFCON 2021, the biggest competition on the African continent, is taking place in Cameroon until February 6th. At the menu of discussions tonight, the draw of Cameroon against the Cape Verde, the outing of two major players of the Gabonese Panthers, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mario Lemina, and the skills of Central African countries which topped the competition. Yana Kenenge, our usual and arbitral sportsman, is on set for these exchanges. Jan, good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for welcoming me once again.
After all the enthusiasm of Samuel Eto'o at the beginning of this match, Cameroon draws 1-1 against Cape Verde. Your impressions?
First of all, after watching the game, as we all followed and we all captivated by the performance of Cameroon, we were like a bit disappointed, if you can call it so, but not really, because on the technical side, if we're talking about points, Cameroon has actually done a very, very good performance, because Cameroon is ending now this group stage with 7 points, 6 points gained from the 2 victories, and then this 1 draw. So Cameroon is still unbeaten in this competition. It's a very good performance from the boys of Samuel Eto'o, motivated, who really wanted the full points of the 9 points from the 3 victories.
If we talk a bit technically about how the players are displayed on the field, do you think Antonio Conceição, the coach, did a good job?
Yeah, like there were like certain boys that he was using, like the men like who's leading the attack, the captain of Vincent Ouattara. The team is really built around him, around his performance, around his moves, and having the Tokwe Kombi on the side also who performed very well last game, and this game was a bit quiet. But then we saw the entrance of Clayton Nje. This shows that the Cameroonian bench is very full of talented players who could come and then bring that pressure to go and score goals.
Is it not sad for Cameroon on the Elembe Stadium in Yaoundé to draw a match? Because since the beginning, they gave us a lot of hopes about their performances.
Yeah, just like it, but it's football. We have to acknowledge the fact that football is not only a winning game. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you draw. And then you have to take into account that the boys fought very well, and they first conceded a goal. Once again, we're talking about this fact that Cameroon is always reacting, conceding goals. But then they equalized. They gave that equalizer that was giving a boost, and then to see how things could go. But then they didn't acquire the full 9 points. But I would not say that is a bad performance. It's a very good performance. And let's notify that Cameroon is qualified for the next stage. So that is also another step taken.
From Cameroon to home Gabon, a few hours ago, like 1 hour ago, Mario Lemina announced through his Instagram account in his story that he's taken retirement. He is not playing anymore for the Panthers. We have to remind to the dear televiewers who are watching us that Mario Lemina entered the Gabonese selection in 2015, and out of 23 matches, he scored only 3 goals. Is it a loss for the Panthers?
Yeah, saying that Mario Lemina now is retiring, it's a kind of like a double standard talking about it, because we have to see he's an important player because he's playing in Europe, but then in the team, he hasn't been really impacting. He's not somebody who's like a major player that we use, just like you say, you mentioned his statistics, talking about Mario Lemina scoring only 3 goals in all these different parties that he took. But then
23 matches.
It's a lot as an international player. But we'll not emphasize on the fact that the boys are leaving, because we don't want to put that stress on the players. The boys are playing tomorrow, and a very important match against Morocco. So let's not shift the focus on the players who are now leaving the team. There are certain reasons, maybe some of them are personal. There are so many medias that are relating certain information, talking about disciplinary ways. There are others that are talking about medical issues. There are so many things behind. So I'll talk about like avoiding all this confusion to the players, because there are still boys who are there and who are performing very well. And tomorrow we have a big match to play in order for us to be well positioned.
But we can't not talk about this controversial situation which is taking place since the beginning of the AFCON. The Panthers had been going through twists and turns and everything, and now we have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who is a player known worldwide, who equally faces the same disciplinary problems like Mario Lemina, but he has not said for the moment he's retiring, but he has to leave the competition. Is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang a loss for the Panthers?
Yeah, obviously, as a player like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who is the captain of the team, the leader of the team, leaving the team, now it's kind of a loss, obviously, because the teams that we are facing are expecting a player like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to be on the field, to give this performance. Now, let's hope the focus will not only be made on the boys, on the ones who left the team. We'll concentrate on the other boys who are present. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has to sort. This is something that we've seen with him. It's not the first time. He's already had the disciplinary ways of acting in Arsenal, especially because he's coming from only a month.
Arsenal, where he has been removed as captain.
You see. So this is something that is really chasing him, and we just hope the boy is going to pick up his career. We don't really want Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to retire because he's one of our best players, and we really want him to stay.
Best players, but the team started playing without him, and we see that the boys have been doing good.
Yeah.
So they can have him, and they cannot have him. I think that doesn't depend on the success of this competition.
Credit
for the Panthers.
Credit to the boys who have been there, who have decided to step forward. As the leader was not around, and also kudos to the coach Patrice Neveu, who managed to create a block and a team, a structured team, without these many players like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mauro Lemina. So it's a very good team. But let's see. Let's not rush to conclusions. Let's not put pressure on the boys. I really emphasize on the fact that we should all take these things aside, because the Gabonese football has been impacted by so many scandals lately, and the players are the ones who are suffering from it. Us, we can talk from outside the door, but inside, it's a very difficult thing. For now, I just want people to give a bit credit to the boys, because the new ones who just came, who are trying to impose themselves and to go on.
Let's talk on a different note now. AFCON 2021 and the ICAS zone.
Yeah.
We see that a lot has been done by the players of these teams. Can you give us some statistics, Yana Kenege, with the permission of our news director?
Obviously, we'll be talking about statistics, but just like you say, we talk about the different zones that were taking part of this AFCON. We talked, first of all, about the ICAS zone, the ICAS area, where we have a team like Gabon, the other teams who are performing also. But we're talking about the ratio, because on this first phase, we have, for us, we have the West A team that is going on. We see the points for the ratio. We have the measure on the West, on this West African zone, we have like 22 for 48 points available. The winning ratio of 45.8%. This is on the West zone, and then we'll move to the next zone B, and then with that zone West B, we have Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Nigeria who are participating. But then on the next phase, it shows us the other ratio, the West B, where we're actually on the very same one, but we have Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana on the points, and then the winning ratio of 70%. This is quite very big for a zone like this one. We move to the next one, to the next zone, where the Central African zone, as I mentioned, where you have Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon. These are the teams who have been performing very, very well. And talking about statistics and talking about the ratio, we've had all these different types, especially now with the Central East zone, because we have Ethiopia and Sudan in that rate, who have delivered a performance of 13 points out of 24 with the win ratio of 54.1%. This has been a very good performance, but it shows that Gabon, out of this different winning zone, has been performing well as well. The ICAS region has been is performing very well. The southern region with the Comoros Island that were beaten by Gabon. We have Mali and Zimbabwe. These are the teams that have been performing also very well. But then this winning ratio is quite low for a place like the southern zone, with 16.6% on only 3 points out of 18 available. And then in the northern zone, where the champion in title is the Algeria, who has been acting very poorly, performing very poorly. Egypt as well, the champion of the year before. Morocco, Tunisia, who are leading teams on the African continent, who have only had a ratio of 54.1%. This just shows the different ratio that the whole African teams have been performing and giving throughout this competition. But then it shows also that there's a momentum that is building now in Africa. Because just like you mentioned, there was this African talents that are the ones who are performing in Europe and now coming to Africa. They are also trying to put up level up in the continent. It's a very good thing for football.
We were quite surprised by the performance of Algeria during this AFCON. We know Algeria has always been a team which beats almost all the teams and gets, I think it's even the country with who has won the most African Cups of Nations.
No, even they had a statistics of 34 games and lost and beaten. They went on a run of 34 games unbeaten, and they only lost yesterday to a country that was really not seen as a favorite for this AFCON. So it just shows that everything is possible during this competition, and we just hope that everybody's going to take the chances, especially Gabon, who's playing tomorrow against Morocco.
Thank you, Yana Kenenge. It's always a pleasure to receive you on set, and we hope that you come next time until this competition ends on the 6th of February.
Thank you.
Dear televiewers, we have come to the end of this newscast, but first, let's have a review of the summary. In Gabon, as part of a friendship and work visit to his counterpart Ali Bongo Ondimba this Monday, January 17th, Ivorian President Alassane Dramane Ouattara held a press conference with local medias. In sports, the AFCON 2021, the biggest competition on the African continent, is taking place in Cameroon. At the menu of discussions tonight, the draw of Cameroon against Cape Verde 1-1, the outing of two major players of the Gabonese Panthers, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mario Lemina, and the skills of Central African countries. The discussion was done with our sportsman Yann Akenenge. It is with a lot of pleasure that we choose to inform you every day. Information continues on G24 and our social medias. Subscribe, share and follow. Special thanks to the news director Richard Sangoma and the entire technical staff. Take care of yourselves and your families as COVID-19 is still a threat to humanity. Good evening and goodbye.